In the mid-19th century, Easter Island was a remote enigma, rarely visited by Europeans. On January 2nd, 1864, Eugène Hérault, a lay friar of the Congregation de Picpus, arrived on the island after a 24-day journey from Valparaiso. During his 9-month stay, Hérault stumbled upon a remarkable find: wooden tablets covered in mysterious hieroglyphic characters. He noted in his journal, "In every hut, one finds wooden tablets or sticks covered in several sorts of hieroglyphic characters. Each figure has its own name, but the scant attention they pay to these tablets leads me to think that these characters, remnants of some primitive writing, are now for them a habitual practice which they keep without seeking its meaning." Despite the significance of these tablets, Hérault's report included no further mention of them, and his discovery went completely unnoticed. He left Easter Island in October 1864 in poor health and died of tuberculosis in 1868. In 1868, the Bishop of Tahiti, Florentin Etienne Tepano Jausen, received a gift from the island's new converts, a wooden board covered in the same hieroglyphic writing. Stunned, Jausen requested Father Hippolyte Roussel to collect all such tablets and find translators. However, Roussel recovered only a few, and the islanders, ravaged by recent Peruvian slave raids and diseases, could not decipher them. Hérault had seen hundreds of these tablets, but many had been destroyed or repurposed. By the 1870s, the Rapa Nui population had been decimated, and much of their literacy wiped out. Out of the 26 texts that survive today, only half are in good condition. Furthermore, some crude glyphs have been found, or in other words, glyphs that were created for tourism purposes, which makes most historians uncertain of their authenticity. British archaeologist Catherine Routledge, during her 1914 to 1915 expedition, found limited and conflicting knowledge of the script among the islanders. She concluded that the script was most likely a mnemonic device for pre-scribes, recording the island's history and mythology in a way that required a specific training to interpret. This script remains one of the world's greatest linguistic mysteries. The true meaning of the glyphs continues to elude researchers, preserving the island's ancient secrets. Rongorongo is a system of mysterious symbols found on Easter Island in the 19th century. These symbols look like writing, but despite many attempts, no one has been able to read them. Some symbols seem to show calendar or family information, but their exact meanings remain unknown. If Rongorongo is indeed a form of writing created independently, it would be one of the few times in history that writing was invented without outside influence. Around 24 wooden items with Rongorongo symbols were collected in the late 1800s. These items, now housed in museums and private collections, include tablets, a chieftain statue, a statuette, and ornaments. No such items remain on Easter Island. According to local history, only a small elite group could read these symbols, and the tablets were considered sacred. Rongorongo texts are written in a unique style called reverse bostrephodon, where the direction of writing alternates with each line. Some tablets have shallow grooves carved into the wood to guide the writing. Each Rongorongo text is known by a letter and a name, such as Tablet C, also called the Mamari tablet. The names can describe the item or indicate where it is kept. Rongorongo is the modern name for a mysterious set of inscriptions found on Easter Island. In the Rapa Nui language, Rongorongo or Ragorago means to recite, to declaim, or to chant out. The original name for the script might have been Ko Hao Motu Mo Rongorongo, which translates to lines and sides for chanting out. This was often shortened to Ko Hao Rongorongo, or simply lines for chanting out. These texts were carved onto various wooden objects using sharp tools, likely made from obsidian or shark teeth. The text had more specific names based on their content. For example, Ko Hao Ta'u, lines of years, which were calendars. Ko Hao Ika, lines of fishes, listed people killed in war, since Ika, meaning fish, was also used to mean war casualty. Ko Hao Runga, lines of fugitives, listed war refugees. Rongorongo glyphs consist of outlines of human, animal, plant, artifact, and geometric shapes. Oral tradition on Easter Island tells of Hotu Matua, or Tu'u Ko Iho, legendary founders of Rapa Nui, bringing 67 tablets from their homeland. These founders are also credited with bringing indigenous plants like the Toromiro. However, there's no evidence of a writing tradition in Polynesia or South America, making it likely that Rongorongo was developed on the island itself. Dating the Rongorongo tablets is challenging. The start of forest clearing on Easter Island has been dated to around 1200, suggesting that Rongorongo was developed no earlier than the 13th century. Only one tablet, Tablet Q, has been carbon dated, revealing a date after 1680. Some glyphs, like Glyph 67, are thought to represent the extinct Easter Island palm, which disappeared around 1650, indicating that Rongorongo could be at least that old. Other tablets, like texts A, P, and V, were inscribed on European ores, dating them to the 18th or 19th centuries. Research suggests that the wood for tablet C came from a large tree, and Easter Island's large trees had disappeared by the first half of the 17th century. Early explorers noted the island's lack of large trees by the 18th century, confirming this deforestation. The tablets preserved in Rome were carbon dated and mostly dated to the 19th century, but one was securely dated to the mid-15th century. This suggests that Rongorongo might have been in use before European contact, but the dating was of the wooden tablets, not the inscriptions. In 1770, the Spanish annexed Easter Island, and a treaty was signed by island chiefs using their form of script. Some scholars believe that Rongorongo might have been inspired by this event, a process known as transcultural diffusion. This hypothesis suggests that the concept of writing was introduced to the islanders, inspiring them to create their own system. However, Rongorongo was not observed by early explorers, possibly due to its taboo status. Easter Island also boasts a rich assortment of petroglyphs, with over 4,000 glyphs cataloged at around 1,000 sites. These carvings include birdman figures, marine animals, and faces of the creation deity Makemake. Some petroglyphs resemble Rongorongo glyphs, like a double-headed frigate bird found on a fallen Moai topknot. However, there are few text-like sequences among the petroglyphs, suggesting that Rongorongo may be a recent creation inspired by petroglyph designs. Many attempts have been made to interpret and translate Rongorongo, but apart from a portion of one tablet related to a lunar Rapa Nui calendar, none of the texts have been deciphered. 3 major obstacles hinder decipherment: the small number of surviving texts, the lack of contextual illustrations, and the poor documentation of the old Rapa Nui language. Modern Rapa Nui is heavily influenced by Tahitian, making it difficult to accurately reflect the language used in the tablets. The prevailing opinion is that Rongorongo might not be true writing, but rather proto-writing or a mnemonic device used for genealogy, choreography, navigation, astronomy, or agriculture. For instance, the Atlas of Languages suggests it was likely a memory aid or a decoration, not for recording the spoken Rapa Nui language. If this is the case, deciphering Rongorongo may be impossible. However, Barthel assigned a 3-digit numeric code to some glyphs that look similar. For example, these animal-looking glyphs. It does have inconsistencies, but it is the only effective system ever proposed to categorize the glyphs. For those who believe Rongorongo to be writing, there is debate over its nature. Some argue it might be logographic or syllabic, but it doesn't fully align with either a pure logograph or syllabary. The mystery of Rongorongo remains one of the most intriguing puzzles of Easter Island's history. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. It was extremely fun going over this puzzling script, and make sure to click the video on the screen because YouTube themselves think that you might enjoy it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Also, make sure to join my Discord. We just added 130 different text channels for you guys to practice your language. Also, follow my Twitch because I'll be streaming tons of language learning content. Both will be in the description below. That's going to be it from me, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.